Hi, I'm Dr. Nixon with Healing Peak Regenerative Medicine's Longevity Channel, and I want to talk to you about the importance of muscle mass today. And I think it probably gets widely misunderstood because muscle mass is really the key. It's the fountain of youth. It's the key to longevity. And so if you don't have a lot of muscle mass, then you are at a much greater risk of many chronic diseases and conditions that if you had more muscle mass, you would not be at risk for. And so, just a couple of things why muscle mass is so important is one of the main ways that you can decide on mortality or morbidity, like if that person is going to die from at a younger age than someone else, is if they can get up off the floor without assistance from knees or hands. And so you need to be able to get up off the floor from a seated position without using your knees or your hands. And that is in direct correlation with how long you will live if you can or cannot do that. And how you maintain your ability to do that is through muscle mass. And then the other really huge thing is the relationship between muscle mass and metabolism. So your muscles, or the amount of muscle you have per muscle, it has a relationship with how many calories you will burn while sitting at rest. So while you're not working out. So everybody knows, like, okay, let's eat a 1,500 calorie to 2,000 calorie diet, right? Like, depending on if you're a male or a female, depending on if you work out extensively or not. And so everyone, I wouldn't say everyone, but a lot of times people are coming in and they're like, I want to be healthy, but I also want to lose weight. And the best way to lose weight, and by weight I mean inches and becoming more healthy, because muscle mass actually weighs more than fat does. And so weight is kind of a terrible way to assess whether or not you're healthy. I know that we use it a lot, and there are good reasons for that, but when we're talking about becoming more fit, and becoming more healthy, we want to increase muscle mass, which could actually increase weight, but also decrease inches and tone up what you have already. And especially if you're kind of like a thin person, you may end up, by gaining more muscle mass, you may end up gaining weight, but having like more of that tone in your body. So the reason for that is because if you weight train, so if you do 30 minutes of weight training and you start to build up that muscle mass, then when you are sitting at rest, you have more cells on board in your body, because you created them, that are going to be working for you and burning energy while you're sitting there or getting up, or, like you're recruiting. So like, for example, right now, if you're sitting and you go to stand up, you recruit all those muscles, right? And if you make more of those muscles, as in like you enlarge the muscles because you have done a lot of weight training, then you are still going to recruit those muscles to stand up. And then every time you've recruited those muscles to stand up, if they're bigger, they're going to need more energy to do that. And that is how metabolism can increase when you increase your muscle mass. So that's why I really encourage my patients to do weight training exercises, because you get more bang for your buck. If you just go walk down the street a mile, you're going to burn the calories you burned while you were walking. But you won't increase your metabolism capacity over time the way that you will if you do weight training activities. I hope that made sense. It can get a little bit confusing, so hopefully you didn't get lost in the weeds there. And as I go on, I will try to clarify that a little bit more. But basically, I mean, the nuts and bolts of it is the more muscle mass you have, the better your metabolism is going to be, the better your metabolic process is going to be, the better fat burning machine you're going to be, the more liberal you can be with your diet, depending on, what your goals are. So I just wanted to put that out there, because I don't think that is explained very widely about how metabolism works and why muscle mass is so important for that. Also, if you're a pre-diabetic, you want to have muscle mass, or a diabetic, because if you don't have muscle mass, there's nothing for you to burn, right? Like if you increase your muscle mass, then you have much more capability of burning glucose in the bloodstream, which will then rebalance your insulin levels, which will reverse your type 2 diabetes. So I'm just going to leave that out there as well, that gaining muscle mass is a strategy to reverse type 2 diabetes, along with diet and lifestyle changes. Okay, moving on. So the other thing that muscle mass does for you, which is incredible, is that if you increase your muscles, they attach to your bone, right? So the muscle then turns into a ligament, and then it attaches to your bone. So, or a tendon, actually, to be specific. So it turns into a tendon and then attaches to the bone. Well, that's an anchor. And so the bigger your muscle, the stronger that tendon has to be on your bone, which means it has to form more osteophytes there, which means it increases bone density, which is why it's so important if you are osteopenic or osteoporotic that you increase your muscle mass. And that is what all the studies show is like weightlifting, weight training, weighted exercise. Like that is why that works to increase bone density, or at least to maintain the bone density that you currently have. So if osteopenia or osteoporosis run in your family, then you definitely want to be aware of that very early on in your life, like 40s, so that you can maintain a high level of muscle mass, because it's harder to get that level of muscle mass as we age. You'll have to work much harder to grow your muscles once you're much older, if that makes any sense. So muscle mass, but I mean, don't be discouraged if you're older and you're just finding this out. Like, it's still really important for you to do that, and still really effective. And that is like the most accurate, most well-studied behavioral change you can make for osteoporosis and osteopenia is increasing muscle mass or doing weight-bearing exercises, which translates to increasing muscle mass. So why we need muscles? We need them to stabilize our joints, because those tendons being strong help stabilize the actual joint itself and create a very healthy immunological response in the joint. On top of that, it increases your bone density, which is fantastic. And then on top of that, it increases your metabolism so that you maintain a healthy weight and you feel great about yourself. So if you have not incorporated a weight training or a muscle growth exercise into your life, I would highly encourage you to do that. And if you're really not sure where to start, please, reach out to us. The phone number to our clinic is 206-899-6000. We're happy to help you get started in that journey and, find a trainer. Find a personal trainer to help you, or a physical therapist. Physical therapists are not just to help you with injuries, but they can actually teach you how to use your body mechanics better so that you don't injure yourself. So physical therapy, personal trainer would also be a really great way for you to get started. Thanks so much. Have a great day.